Good morning, dear students. I am glad to teach vital signs today. The primary vital signs are pain, body temperature, pulse, respiration, blood pressure, and oxygen saturations. The vital signs are useful in monitoring and detecting the medical problems of the client. The articles needed for checking the vital signs are a tray containing thermometer. Each may be a digital or the glass thermometer. So here the thermometer are, so you can use it, the digital thermometer or the glass thermometer. So nowadays we are not using the glass thermometer because of the mercury in glass thermometer. If the glass thermometer has broken, the mercury will be spilled, so that will damage the body tissues. So currently we are not using the glass thermometer. So a tray containing the thermometer, and there is a spirit cotton, a bowl which is containing the cotton which is dipped into the spirit. So currently we are using the spirit as a disinfectant. So for the glass thermometer, before and all we use the Dettol or Savlon or Lysol. Dettol 1:40, Savlon 1:20 ratio, Lysol 1:20. That means for 100 ml of water. For example, if you have taken in the bottle 100 ml of water, you have to add 2.5 ml of Dettol solution inside. So here I already poured the Dettol solution as a 2.5 ml with the help of the measuring jar which is added here. So this Dettol which is acting as a disinfectant for disinfecting the glass thermometer, because the glass thermometer which will be used for a lot of patients, so it is not the purpose of using a single patient. Suppose a patient who is having the glass thermometer, it is you can use it as a use of with the help of spirit cotton, you can wipe it. But in case of we are going to use for a lot of patients, for 5 minutes the thermometer to be disinfected, for that you can take 100 ml of water and you can pour it 2.5 ml of Dettol. In case of Savlon, it is 5 ml of Savlon, that is 1:20 ratio, or in case of Lysol, that is 1:20, that is 5 ml to be added. The other articles which are needed for checking the vital signs are the pulse oximeter. So the pulse oximeter which will be inserted in the finger of the patient. So in the finger, that means the finger of the patient, that to be inserted to detect the oxygen saturation, pulse oximeter. And next one, to check the blood pressure, we have to use a BP apparatus along with this stethoscope to auscultate the sound of the systolic and diastolic sound. So we need to use the stethoscope for the patient. And for the, if in case of if the patient is having a contagious disease, so we need to use the pair of gloves. It may be a sterile gloves to be used. For example, currently is going on the outbreak of coronavirus, so a full set of PPE is to be used. So in case of checking the vital signs of the client, so it is optional one as depends the need of the client to be used. And next one, for recording all everything, you need to have a paper and a patient case sheet or the patient record, or you have to use a set of documentary papers that can be used for writing the documenting the patient these vital signs. After that, there can be a paper bag which is for collecting the waste of the cotton balls or whatever you use, or the gloves to be discarded. So you have to use the collecting a bag or the paper bag to be used. So these are the articles needed for checking the vital signs. So as an overall summary, the articles needed for checking the vital signs: a thermometer which can be a electronic or digital thermometers, a spirit cotton as a using for as a disinfectant, pulse oximeter to check the oxygen saturation, stethoscope and BP apparatus to check the blood pressure, pen and the paper for recording the vital signs, gloves, a pair of gloves for in case of contagious diseases, and paper bag for collecting the waste materials. Before going into the patient room, as a nurse, first thing you have to knock the door before entering to the patient room. Second thing, you have to perform effective hand hygiene. So many patients have different diseases. So before touching the client, the hand hygiene is very important. Third steps, you have to introduce yourself to the patient. As your name to be introduced, I am Miss Sada. Today the nurse in charge going to take care of you. Can I check your vital signs? So you have to get the opinion from the patient. If the patient says yes, you can continue the procedure. And the last thing, we have to assemble all the articles which are very close to the patient in the patient care unit. I am Miss Sana, today the nurse in charge. I am going to check your vital signs today. Can I check the vital signs of you today?
Yes.
Firstly, we have to assess the pain of the client. For assessing the pain of the client, there is a scale that is called the pain numerical scale. In the pain numerical scales, there is a rating which will be given, that is from 0 to 10 ratings. So 0 it means, that means no pain, and from 1 to 4 may be a mild pain, from 5 to 7 it may be moderate pain, and 8, 9 and 10 it may be a severe or worst pain. So that meaning is 0 means no pain and 10 means worst pain. So here Mr. Dhanakumar is a client here. So I would like to ask, can you rate your pain 0 between 0 to 10?
0.
So the patient mentioned as 0, so there is no pain. So the first vital sign, that is assessment of the pain, which has been checked. The second one, checking the patient temperature. For checking the patient temperature by using the glass thermometer. So this is the glass thermometer. So this is a disinfectant which is added here in the bottle 1, which to be dipped into that clean water. So the bottom of the bottle, there is a cotton ball which is kept to prevent the breakage of the glass thermometer. So after taking from the dipping into the glass of water, the clean water, the thermometer to be cleansed with the help of the spirit cotton. So before checking the temperature of the client, it has to be cleaned from the bulb to the stem of the thermometer, because this bulb is considered as more clean. So the principle that is working here is more clean to less clean area. So as a nurse has to clean the thermometer from the more clean towards the less clean, that is the bulb to the stem of the thermometer. And before checking the temperature of the client, the reading of the thermometer, that to be below, it is 95 degree Fahrenheit. That means you have to, with a quick firm motion of the wrist, you have to shake the thermometer. So when you are shaking the thermometer, you should take care. You should not be near to the table or any furniture, which will break it and it can cause the damage to the thermometer. So take care when you shaking the thermometer. So when you use a firm movements, with the help of the wrist, you should shake it, and the reading of the thermometer has to go below 95 degree Fahrenheit. That means it has to come below the 95 degree. So if it is above the 95 degree, the mercury has showing that there will be a bias in reading the temperature. So before checking the temperature of the client, there is very important that it has to come below the 95 degree Fahrenheit of the thermometer. In case of contagious diseases, you can wear the gloves for checking the temperature of the client or the vital signs of the client, because the client body has had a contact with the blood and the body fluids. It is necessary the nurses has to wear the gloves. It is one of the universal precautionary measures before checking the temperature. So already you cleansed the thermometer from the bulb to stem, because more into less clean area. Then you can discard the cotton balls in the paper bag. Again, now you are going to check the temperature of the client. Before checking the temperature of the client, you have to, I am planning to check in the axillary area. So axillary method, there are few methods to check the temperature of the client. You can check by oral method, axillary method, tympanic inside the ear, so tympanic method, or in the rectal method. There are few sites which you can apply for checking the temperature of the client. For oral temperature, 98.6 degree Fahrenheit is a normal. For axillary temperature, for 97.6 is a normal. For rectal temperature, for 99.6 is a normal. For tympanic number, 98.6 is a normal body temperature. So any one of the method I am going to check now by axillary temperature. So by using the digital electronic thermometer. So this is the digital electronic thermometer. So this digital electronic thermometer also to be cleansed before checking the temperature of the patient. So you can take a spirit cotton, you can wipe it, you can use spirit cotton, you can wipe it from the tip of the thermometer, just stem, and you should not use too much spirit on the display unit. It will get contaminated or it will be damaged. So you should not be using too much spirit. Just you can wipe it as a separating motion from the bulb to the stem of the thermometer. Then you have to get it on. You can, when you get it, there is a button. So when it is get it on, it will show in the digital form. So after that, you have to go near to the client. So you can use one more cotton, spirit cotton. You can, before checking the temperature of the client, you have to wipe the axillary area. If there is some moisture, it will be contaminated, so you have to wipe it. Ask the patient, can you please rise your arm? So you have to wipe it. So after wiping any moisture that to be discarded, then you have to keep the tip of the thermometer under the armpit. Then you have to keep it under the armpit, and you have to ask the patient to hold the hand together with the thermometer, and you have to stand near to the patient. So this thermometer used to take nearly 1.5 minutes to get a peep sound. And the peep sound, if you heard, then you have to remove the thermometer. You can check the temperature in a digital form. At the same time, while you checking the temperature of the client, it is necessary how to assess the pulse of the client. After keeping the thermometer in position, you have to check the pulse of the client. Here I am going to check the radial pulse of the client. For palpating the radial pulse, you have to see the near to the wrist of the patient at the side of the thumb. So you have to palpate the pulse of the radial pulse. So you have to generally keep your 2 fingers over the radial artery, and you have to get the pulse. You have to check the pulse for the half minute. If the pulse which is regular, if it is regular, you can multiply with 2 for checking half minute. If it is irregular, you have to check the pulse for complete 1 minute. You have to check. Next thing, you have to check the respiration of the client. The respiration means the chest movement, full inspiration and expiration. So that you have to check the respiration of the client. That means the way of you have to hold your hand in the wrist of the patient. That means over the radial artery, as you are continuously keeping your hand after checking the pulse, and you have to focus your eyes on the patient chest, full inspiration and expiration, one full movement of the patient. So complete movement of the patient you have to. So then after getting the peep sound, you have to remove the thermometer, and you should read the reading in the thermometer. So in the digital form, the temperature used to come. So here it is showing 98.4 degree Fahrenheit, which is considered as normal, because axillary it is 97.6 degree Fahrenheit is normal. So here 96.6 degree Fahrenheit. So that means 97.6 degree Fahrenheit. So it is the normal temperature. After taking the thermometer, again using the spirit cotton, you have to wipe the thermometer with the help of spirit cotton from the stem to the tip. That means bulb. You have to wipe it and discard the cotton ball, and you have to put it into the cover and replace the thermometer in place and record the temperature and pulse and the respiration. The normal pulse rate is 72 to 80 beats per minute. The normal respiratory rate is 16 to 20 breaths per minute. Next vital sign is checking the oxygen saturation. With the help of the pulse oximeter, the nurse has to assess the oxygen saturation level of the client. So oxygen is vital for the life of the patient or anyone else. So the oxygen saturation, is a good indicator of the oxygenation of the body. So for checking the oxygen saturation, you have to use the pulse oximeter. Before checking the oxygen saturation, you have to get the button to be on. So the pulse oximeter, which is ready for the use. So here this will be inserted in one of the finger of the client. So you have to get a patient finger correctly, and you have to keep it in place. So you will get it the digital form, the oxygen saturation and the pulse of the patient. So here you got it already now. The oxygen saturation which is 98% and the pulse which is 73 beats per minute. So after that, after detecting the oxygen saturation, you can replace the pulse oximeter and get it off the pulse oximeter and to be recorded. The next vital sign is checking the blood pressure. For checking the blood pressure, you have to position the client. Normally, it is good for checking the blood pressure of the patient should be in a spine position. For checking the blood pressure, you should have the skill in listening the sounds of the blood vessel. So when you wrapping the cuff around the brachial artery, you will get these different sounds. The first sound it starts from the systolic blood pressure and the last sound which ends with the diastolic blood pressure. So in between systolic and diastolic, there are few sounds. You should be clear that when listening the sound of checking the blood pressure. The first sound, that is phase 1 to phase 5. In the phase 1, there is a sharp sound which will start at a point of systolic blood pressure, which indicates systolic blood pressure. So second phase, little blowing sound, the sound as blood is flowing, so it's a blowing sound that will be getting. And phase 3, that is a sound as using sound, so a little bit crisp, and also it is little quieter when you comparing the phase 1. When you comparing the phase 1, it is little quieter and slow. And so the next one is the phase 4, that is a sound which is not clear, which will be muffled here. And phase 5, the last sound which ends with the systolic blood pressure. So the starting the sound, the first sound is a systolic, the last sound is a diastolic blood pressure. Blood pressure, you need to have a stethoscope. So the parts of the stethoscope, there will be a diaphragm and the bell. So this type of stethoscope, there is a one-headed stethoscope. Here only diaphragm we have. So that is, there are two parts, that is diaphragm and the bell. Back of the diaphragm there will be a bell. Why there is two parts which will absorb the vibration of the sounds from the body? Because the high pitched sound you can use by the help of this diaphragm. The low pitched sound you can use the bell of the diaphragm, and the that is commonly called chest piece, and this is the earpiece. So you have the two earpiece which will transmit the sound through the tubings. There is a air tube which will be transmitted to the tubing and it will reach your ears. The sound which is produced from the body, which will be vibrated and which will be the acoustic pressure, which will be transmitted to the chest piece and which will be transmitted to the air tube to the your earpiece, and your eardrum will be send the message to the brain and you will be getting these sounds. So in case of high pitch sound you can use the diaphragm, low pitch sound you can use the bell, and this is called the binaurals. So binaurals means in the sense there are two tubings which will be connecting with each ear, so that is called the binaurals. So these are the parts of the stethoscope. So you should know that before checking the blood pressure, you should on the stethoscope and you have to check the blood pressure. And the next which is article which is needed for checking the blood pressure, that is a BP apparatus. Here I am using the aneroid BP apparatus. Here there is a dial. So this dial which is having the measurement which is starting from 20 to it is having up to 300. So 20 to 300 which will be, there is a thought which will beat at the point where the first sound you will be getting, that is called systolic, and the sound which will end, that is called the diastolic. So when you selecting the cuff, that to be a size to be proper, because there is a difference cuff between the adult and the pediatrics, and also the adult, the patient, those who are obese. So the cuff should be snugly fit on the patient upper arm. So you have to select the proper width of the cuff So the cuff to be tied properly, so otherwise there will be a bias, you cannot get the BP properly. So selection of the cuff for the adult, it is very important that. So you can see now how I am going to check the blood pressure. For checking the blood pressure, you have the cuff. So this cuff should be wrapped around the patient upper arm. So you are not supposed to check the BP of the patient over the patient dress. So if the patient is wearing a full sleeve, you have to ask the patient to fold the sleeve, or you have to help the patient to fold the sleeve, and you need to check the blood pressure. So here 1 inch above the antecubital fossa, that means you have to, around the elbow, you have to wrap the cuff. So the cuff should not be too tight or it should not be too loose. So then you have to insert your 2 finger inside. You have to check whether it is easily going or not. So 1 inch above you have to wrap the this cuff properly. Then you have to check the pulse. In the brachial pulse you have to check. So here in the medial part of the right hand, you can able to get the brachial pulse. So once the brachial pulse you can able to feel, now you are going to inflate, you have to fix it, this dial aneroid apparatus, you have to over the cuff. Now you are going to check the auscultate the sounds of the blood vessels. So here before checking the sound auscultate, you have to check whether the brachial artery, so that means this should not be too tight or too loose. 2 finger you can able to insert inside. Now I am going to check. So already we palpated the pulse here over the antecubital fossa. Now I kept the diaphragm of the stethoscope in that position. So followed by I am going to inflate the dial over that. So when you inflating, you have to inflate it slowly and gently. It should not go over 160 up to 180. Then slowly you have to release the cuff. So the blood pressure is 120 by 70 or like nearby 72 to 74. So such a way that you have to check the blood pressure. By using the palpatory method, first you have to inflate the cuff. So at the same time you have to check the pulse of the radial pulse of the patients. The pulse, there is some point the pulse will disappear. Further you have to rise up to 190. Then slowly you have to release or you have to deflate the cuff as 3 mm per second. So where the point, the first sound you will get, that is a systolic blood pressure. So when you have to inflate it, after inflation, so you have to close the bladder, then you have to inflate it. So when you inflating one point, there is absence of pulse. Then further you have to rise it again up to 140 to 160. Then slowly you have to deflate the cuff, where the point where you will get the sound, first sound, that is a systolic blood pressure. That is the way of palpatory method. You are checking the blood pressure of the patient. So I hope so you understood today's class of checking the vital signs. So that today's class today's class I just demonstrated for you the important primary vital signs of how to check the pain of the client, how to check the body temperature, how to check the pulse, respiration and blood pressure, and how to check the oxygen saturation. Thank you so much for watching.